So, welcome back to episode 8 of this little series about me and my business and my business journey. Bit of a different one today because I want to show you how Next Design works, how we run, and I think especially with Flowgate launching soon, it's important to understand where Flowgate is and where it sits within Next Design, within the business, and also, my role and what I do within the business as well. So, bit of a different one. It's going to be a bit of a breakdown of Next Design, and also I think it's important because in like previous videos and in future videos I'm going to be talking about Next Design and Flowgate, and for anyone that's doesn't know what I'm on about, then they can just come back to this video to have a look. So I think it's quite important that I make this clear in how we operate. Okay, so let's get straight into this in where we are at the minute. So a bit of a breakdown on how it runs. So you've got myself in the business and Anas. So he's the current developer, and obviously previously this was Owen before he decided to step down and leave. This has now been filled. Had some issues with filling in because it's just it's difficult to find developers and people that have that same vision and mindset as yourself. So basically he does all the development side. He's a development partner, does the website software, maintenance of websites, security of software and websites, and then also integrates AI into our business to help systemize it. Then myself, I founded Next Design, and I do all of the business strategy, client acquisition, closing deals, branding, client management, basically all the marketing, everything outside of the development. So he does the service, and I get all the clients. That's pretty the simplest way to put it. And all these ideas like Flowgate and doing research into the market and what's needed for a software is what I do. So going into Next Design, it's sort of split into two main things, which is the web development and design side of things, and then the software development side of things. For the website, let's just go into the website side quickly. Basically, it's pretty simple how it's laid out. The web design side, you've got clients, so we've got however many clients, I don't even know off the top of my head, but we've got quite a few clients who just come through the business. I would bring the clients, I would do the client side. Then basically the process which they go through is we'd have a discovery call. I'd then write a brief on the back of that. Then I'd send it to the developer, Anas, or in that case it was Owen. I'd send to Owen, then he'd go and design and build it. Then I'll review it, make any changes that I think is necessary. Developer makes the changes. Then I have a meeting with the client. Usually they have a few changes as well, so then it'll go back and forth a couple of times, but only slight tweaks, to be honest. Then we go to a meeting, launch it, connect the domain, boom, website's ready. And then we did just have a section on SEO, so how we're going to promote and help their website be boosted out there. And I'd also include other things inside of this, depending obviously what the client wants outside of that. So that's like half of the business. Used to be half of the business. It used to be the whole business, and now we're splitting off into softwares. It's like web design's half and softwares is half, but sort of pushing towards just doing small softwares, just because there's more money, and pretty much more money, to be honest. That's actually the reason. So if we go to the software design and development side, so at the minute we've got Flowgate. This is in the future, I do want to be looking at getting other softwares out there, and putting teams and development teams together to then work on other softwares. But for instance, Next Design's like the parent company, and then Flowgate is just one of the softwares under the company, and it will be alongside, future softwares we develop. So how Flowgate's structured at the minute is I've got a meeting, I've spoken to Dwayne. Basically, he has over 50 clients who have a high ticket offer. Basically, he's going to bring us our first 5 clients to basically test it, demo it, which basically I had a meeting with him. It's really funny how we met, to be honest. I had a meeting with him just about his content. Like, I really liked his content. We got in a meeting, spoke about what we both do, and he was like, he wished it was ready, like when we had that first meeting, but obviously it takes a few months to develop. So he said, he knows people, his clients who would want to implement this in their business. Let me know when it's done. So it's done. We're going to get a meeting booked in with him next week in the week. And basically we're going to demo and test it on his clients and, make any changes, which also then means we can have real life client reviews, and go and meet, his clients. work with them quite closely, make sure it helps them make money, because honestly, if this doesn't help businesses make money, I don't want to take their money. So, I really want this software to work and actually help businesses. And I think the reason I changed to this software from web design was just because I thought, why do I keep going to small businesses? And web design is only capped at a few K. Whereas, with software, once you've created the software, you can sell it to loads of people. And as much as, I do want to sell it to obviously a decent amount of people, I'd rather work closely with those people. So I'd rather have 10 clients and work with them closely and help them and actually help them implement the software so they have to do a bit less manual work. Because I'd rather, get the results and have that closer connection with clients. So basically at the minute, this is how we're gonna frame it and go forward with it. So Dwayne brings us our first clients. We've got a special deal with him that I'm not gonna disclose yet. And then these 5 clients, we're gonna come to us, they're gonna pay us our standard amount, and then basically Dwayne's gonna help us increase our offer to then be able to, offer it to the wider market, and then hopefully, grow client acquisition, and just keep bringing on new clients. So that's sort of how Flowgates is at the minute. And basically, because we're helping, people who are making 20, 30K a month already, we're helping them go from 20 to 30K a month to, 40, 50, 60K a month. They've got the money to invest. And that's sort of the biggest thing for me, I think, that I've learned in business, is that before we were obviously doing it to businesses who, make a few K a month and they can afford a website, but it's still quite a big investment for them. Like I know Dwayne's clients can literally just be like, yep, like they'll just try it out. Like even just to try it out, they'll pay to try it out and just see how it gets on. So it's important we do this correct, but honestly, it's so close to launch that it's so exciting, because I've just been wanting to work with clients like as soon as possible. But yeah, basically that is everything on Next Design and where Flowgate sits within the business. We have finished the software for Flowgate. Like it's literally done. There's a couple more changes. We're gonna get a meeting in with Dwayne in the week, and yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. So it's not really been a business update. It's been more of one of these, because obviously there's not been much to report since last week, and I feel like this is more beneficial to anyone watching who doesn't know my business already. Suppose for now, I'm not going to go into too much detail. I was thinking about showing you some of the software, but for now, I'm not. In future videos, I might go over it and how it works. So for now, that's everything from me. And, it's really, really close to launch now. So I'm just looking forward to it. And I suppose I'll see you in the next one, which will be next Sunday. So, yeah, see you later.